Magnificent morning, wonderful afternoon, and fantastic evening. This is Carla from not from the Learn English show, from Rehan Allahwala's World of Connections. And today I have the honor of speaking to an award-winning teacher in India, and his name is Satyam Mishra, and Satyam means truth. So he should be a rather cool guy. I've been speaking to him for the past few minutes, and I think he's cool. And we are going to find out about his work and his passions for teaching. I want to remind you that this show, like all of my shows, is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. Hey, Satyam, how are you?
Namaste to everyone watching this. It has been an honor and pleasure to be with you, and looking forward to this talk.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting to know you. And can we start with an introduction from you about who you are, please?
Sure. So I am. It's a town in eastern India. I am an engineer turned teacher because I think I love teaching. I love interacting with young people, telling them what their potential is, putting them on the right track, and making sure that educational equity is actually an answer to a world without poverty by 2040, as I see it. So working together with young minds to change the very trajectory of their lives.
Okay. Now, what age kids do you work with for the most part?
All kinds, all kinds. So if you visit one of my classrooms, you will see kids who are in grade 1 all the way to engineers. So I have I don't know, I must call myself very lucky because I get to work with all kinds of kids who are naughty, kids who are entertaining, kids who love to learn, kids who love to teach. So all kinds of wonderful kids around, and there's so much fun to learn from them and also to teach them.
And what do you actually teach, Satya?
I have this passion for STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. But I love learning. I love learning. So it could be a history lesson, it could be a geography lesson, but those are part of extracurriculars which I do. I am more focused on getting two things right in my country. One is girls doing as well as boys, or even better in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's project number one. The second project is that I think it's a problem in the subcontinent that people think that the families you come from. So, for example, if you're from an affluent family, you have a greater chance of succeeding in STEM. I don't understand that logic at all because I don't think that logic is right in any which way. So empowering first generation college students to do wonders in STEM. So those are my two basic passions, and I keep working towards it.
And okay, how long have you been a teacher?
Roughly for about 8 years now. So I've been in different roles, but I have never really left teaching. So since 2013, I still remember the date, 5th September, which is Teachers' Day in India. We celebrate it in honor of Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, who was the first Vice President of India, a great educator. So 5th September 2013 was when I started teaching. But yes, that went on and off for some time. 2015 onwards, I have been a full-time teacher.
And what is your, I think you may have said that, but I was doing some editing at the time. what was your most loved area to teach?
So I think, I've met very intelligent people, in my life. I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of smart people from around the world, very successful ones, and they still tell me that they're scared of math, right? So my simple idea was I could never understand really, that someone who is so smart, so successful, what makes him or her scared of math even at a very mature age. And I thought that this subject is probably projected the wrong way. It's not taught the right way. And that's what makes smart people fear that subject. So I was passionate about changing this norm. Mathematics is not a subject that's dangerous. It's not a subject loaded with formulas. And it is a subject that kids can absolutely love. So my passion has been towards demystifying mathematics and also helping children and adults enjoy the beauty of the subject along with science and computers.
Okay. You said you've taught kids from very young to very
That's true.
old. Do you teach them all in one classroom or have you been splitting them up? And how, let's start there.
So this is quite funny, I must admit, but uh, I had a principle that I will not make money out of teaching students. I will make money out of setting test papers. I'll make money out of curriculum designing. I'll make money out of every other thing, but not teaching. So that's what makes my service to the students a little different. I teach certain sections, which is the higher grades, but I love interacting with children. So from grade one all the way to grade eight, it's fun time where you're learning with children, where you're telling them lots of stories, hearing their stories, and learning from them. And eighth onwards, I think is serious business, which means you're preparing them for college, you are motivating them to understand their full potential, and you're trying to change their lives forever for the better.
So, but still, so you love teaching math. Is that where you started teaching in the
I
beginning or?
I have to admit and confess I don't want to admit and confess this a lot of times, but I had a very tough time dealing with my math teacher when I was growing up. He did not like me. I did not like him either, and that led to a lot of problem and challenges. So I basically self-taught myself math, and I started working with my peers, my classmates and my juniors, because they also apparently did not like the teacher. So they found me to be a little more, comic and approachable and easy to deal with. And that's exactly what love for math and love for teaching evolved into, and it became a career without me even noticing it that way.
Wow. Now, I'm still curious. You said you've taught very young ones and very old ones. Did you separate them in classrooms or was it like one big schoolhouse
No,
classroom?
no, no, no. I think, to be honest with you, I think every kid learns at a different pace. Every kid learns through different techniques. I mean, it's not one medicine for every problem. You have to be creative to kind of find solutions and make it very engaging and entertaining for kids of all sorts. And I especially love the naughty kids a lot more because I think they're much more creative. They will tell you all kinds of stories, and I love interacting with them. So it's always class wise. Whenever I have interacted with children, I have deliberately kept this going class wise, so that whatever we discuss remains with them. They don't just have fun and forget it. They have fun with numbers, and they remember what was done in the class. They remember what was taught. So I have been quite cautious of not wasting their time, but at the same time, making sure that they have a wonderful time.
Okay, that sounds great.
Thank you.
So, but you're still, I still want to, so each year you taught in a different age group.
No. I focused on the college going students because I think they are at a particular point in time where they are going to get into college and change their lives forever, help their parents later, and raise a great family if they wish to. So I think that is a very crucial point. I'm talking about grade 8th, ninth, and 10th, which means when the kids are 13 to 16 years old. So my focus has been that one group since the time I started teaching. But casually and out of passion and just to understand how kids learn, I have been interacting on and off with children as young as 5 years old to as old as I can't call them children because they're adults to as old as engineering students. So 5 year olds to 21-year olds is the bracket of students that I deal with, but I focus mainly on 13 to 17 years of age. That is my major focus area, getting them college ready.
And that is a very crucial point. I
That's true.
completely agree with you. I guess I was trying to get at whether it was a one, in this country when education started, that you have first graders in school with someone ready to go to college. It would be a one-room schoolhouse.
Definitely.
From listening to you now, I get the opinion that you had different classes of different ages throughout the day.
That's true.
Now, I've also noticed in listening to you that your English is very good. How did it get so good?
Thank you for complimenting me on that. And I would love to say that the credit goes to my teachers. The credit goes to my school, Mount Assisi School, Bhalapur. So I can't imagine, being good at whatever I'm good at today, had it not been for my school. So English education or the way math is taught or the way science is dealt with, I think schools play a very important role. We have 4 ICSE schools in my city, and I think whoever had the opportunity to learn at one of those schools has a better command over English and has done reasonably well in his or her career. So I think the entire credit goes to the teachers and the school that I got educated in.
But you're the one who did the work. And if you hadn't done the work to learn it, you would not have that knowledge now.
No, I beg to differ, and I'm not being humble at all. I'm just being honest and truthful. As you rightly mentioned, as my name suggests, I'm just being truthful. So the idea is that the school created that environment because I come from a Hindi-speaking belt. We don't speak English at home in this area in India. We speak Hindi. So English is not spoken at home. English is spoken just in about 6 hours that you get at school from Monday to Friday. So the school has done a great job in making sure that they create an environment where all the students get to practice English. They get to learn the best and teach others, if they want to. So I think it is more about the environment. I think it's more about the mindset, and it is more about encouraging you to practice it as much as you can, so that you don't depend on anyone in the future.
True. Because you really need to learn to have a mindset. I can do it. And if someone says, I can't do it, that's fine. You can have your own.
Definitely. I remember one of the strict rules in the school, I mean, which helped me and my friends the most, was, that if you're caught speaking Hindi in school, because it was an English medium school, if you're caught speaking Hindi in school, you will either have to pay a fine or you will have to address the assembly the next day. Something, either of the two. So the school implemented this policy very strictly, and I think it just helped all of us because we had very limited time practicing the language. So the school kind of was very, very efficient in planning out, I would say rather chalking out, the way in which we were taught, not just English, but all the other subjects equally.
Now, do you speak English with your students?
Yes, I have been very, very careful and mindful of the fact that my students also don't get a lot of time and opportunity at home to speak in English. And I think that is one skill which is very much required in today's day and age. Uh, I, I can't imagine um, how difficult it would be for someone to not know English and navigate the world. So I think, yes, I mean, every language is important and every language has its pride, its culture, and one must learn his or her mother tongue. Definitely. I mean, I don't think one should not. I mean, one should definitely do it. But at the same time, one should definitely learn a foreign language, which is going to be the most helpful for him or her in his or her career. That was English in my context, because I think it's a language spoken by a lot of countries where people from the subcontinent go for work, for better opportunities. Even at home, when you're interacting with people from around the world, English definitely helps you, communicate efficiently and effortlessly. I think it's a boon, and I just hope that children realize that, my students realize that, and they absolutely have no problem communicating their thoughts, expressing themselves, learning whatever they want, and getting to excel in their careers uh, 5, 10 years down the line.
Now, I'm assuming you have a family, do you, or am I wrong?
Pardon me, I did not get you. Sorry.
I am assuming you have a family, and I assume you may have kids. Do you teach? Do you speak English
No,
with your family?
uh, I I uh, I don't have kids. I am not married as yet.
Oh,
Uh, but yes, I do have a family. I have my parents. I have my elder brother. We live in a joint family here. So it's one big Indian family. And as I mentioned to you, we don't speak English at home. Very limited. We love to talk in our mother tongue, which is Hindi. But yes, we love reading English. We love watching Hollywood movies, definitely. The web series, definitely. But English is not the language spoken on dinner tables. It's always the mother tongue.
wow, that's interesting. Now
I
you
think I think I think it holds true for most Indian families. I must say that, whatever language they speak, we in India speak 1,600 plus languages.
I know.
And we have 23 official languages. So I think the mother tongue is the language spoken at dinner tables rather than English. That I'm quite sure of.
Now we were talking earlier about English being a very important language. How, and you agreed, but I'd like to hear how you came to that conclusion.
Oh, I mean, I think it's very, very evident. I think it's very evident. For example, I know very talented students, uh, but then because they did not have that grasp of the language, they suffered majorly in competitive exams. Because a lot of management exams here in India, which are ranked at par with foreign universities, they test you on your English abilities. So I have seen talented people struggle because of their lack of knowledge of one language. and if you generally want to understand more about the obsessions of Indians, the obsession that Indians have for the language, I think you can definitely watch a Bollywood hit movie called Hindi Medium. That makes a very important point, rather worrying point, that English is not a language in India; it's a status. That's true. I mean, if you have to blend into the elite class in India, you have to be an English speaker. So that is the message that comes across very strongly in that movie. It is exaggerated, no doubt about that. But English education opens lots of opportunities for you, not just in India, but around the world. And I think it is a language. Uh, I mean, I don't know if this sounds right, but like petrol is called, black gold, just for the value that it has. I think English is a golden language that way today. You have to have it because it is worth its price in gold. It opens innumerous opportunities around the world, and it is a skill that you must have in order to succeed. That's what I believe. Maybe times change in the coming years, but I see it as it has been happening for the last 10, 20 years, and I see that English education is one of the most important skills in today's day and age.
So when you are with your students, do they have other teachers who are teaching English, or are you teaching them the English?
No. They have teachers who are teaching them English. A lot of principals spend extra time in this part of the world helping students with English language. So they have got an English teacher, uh, takes care of the syllabus, teaches them all that they need to know. Plus, the principal of the school is, I mean, I know a lot of principals who have been very involved in getting students to practice the language, to get them to write essays, correct those essays, so that kids feel comfortable. They feel that they have enough and more practice. I don't teach them English, but my instructions are in English. I teach them math and science, but it is definitely in English language. And I encourage them to pick up the skill, to watch as many YouTube English videos as possible, learn more, read more. I think those are my mantras for my students, so that they become fluent, so that they understand the language, and they absolutely have no dearth of opportunities in the future.
Do you think that English will become the international language for everyone, and that the native languages will begin to disappear? I hope not, personally, but I'm wondering how you feel about
No,
that.
I think, talking of my country, India, I think everyone, you ask any Indian, he or she would be in absolute awe and love with his native language. There's no doubt about it, be it Marathi, Tamil, Malayalam. People love their native language, and that's the language spoken at home. So I don't think that native languages are going anywhere, and they should not. But I think English is already an international language. I think it's already an international language, and I think it's a great way to connect with people around the world. If we have one common language, which means you learn Spanish, you learn Hindi, you learn Malayalam, but you have one connecting language, I think English can be that language because a lot of the literate world already uses it. So, for example, I'm just giving you a mathematical example. For example, if 55% of people on earth understand English, they may not be very fluent with the language, but they understand English. I think, it'll be easier to convert the other 45% into listeners or basic learners, rather than, for example, take any language, say that's spoken by 20% of the world, you still have to work on the other 80%. So English has that advantage already, where a number of people from around the world, even if it's not their first language, they understand the language. I imagine a world where, I mean, someone can be from China, Japan, Israel, from wherever, but then they know one language that connects them to every single person on earth. So I just dream that that language could be English. I'm not saying that language has to be English. I don't think that any language is superior or inferior to any other. I think every language is equally respected and loved. But I think English can be one of that connecting language. It is already an international language, connecting people, from Japan to the United States and from Siberia to South Africa.
I agree, obviously, because I'm working with people from all over the world. Then why, knowing that, and knowing that learning includes making mistakes, why are people so afraid of making mistakes, in your opinion?
Because they're ridiculed. They're not scared of making mistakes. They're scared because they are looked down upon if they make mistakes. I think that is something that needs to be taken care of as a society. I mean, there's this great, there's this wonderful writer, Chetan Bhagat, and he's written several best-selling novels. And he made a point, the other day he was in one of the YouTube ads, and he said that if you make a mistake in math or physics, people are not going to laugh at you. They're just going to assume that you don't know physics or math. But if you make a mistake in English, people are going to laugh at you. They're going to pinpoint that mistake. So I think we need to be aware that people need to learn the language. They will make mistakes. Let's support them rather than ridiculing them.
And I agree with you. And I mean, I have people who come to my show and then they disappear when they see themselves on camera. And I think part of the reason they do this, and I watched it for over 5 years, is that they're afraid, what happens if I make a mistake?
That's true.
But
That is
to
true.
me, making a mistake is a step to success.
And it's way better than running away. Making a mistake is way better than running away. And that's a skill, I believe. To not give up is a skill.
And I remember Rehan, there's been times where he has introduced me to someone, and in order to get them to talk to me, he would do a 3-way call. It hasn't happened
Got
in
it.
the past few months.
Got
And
it.
they'll get on the phone, hello, and they can't even get them to say hello.
I get that. I think confidence is a major problem, and I think that people who don't speak English are looked down upon. That's crazy. That should not be the case anywhere in the world. English is not our native language, but we must learn English. I think there should be a very clear idea around these two sentences. That fine, you don't need to be an Englishman or a woman. You can be an Indian, you can know your languages, but also know English. Don't equate it to status or don't attach any prejudice with the language. So that's something that I find a little strange in the subcontinent. And I think that is going to change sooner or later.
I don't think it's only the subcontinent. I think it's throughout the world.
Could be.
And even in this country, they think if I don't do it right the first time, I'm dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of if I
That's
don't do
wrong.
it right the first time, I am learning and I will get it.
Yeah. I mean, uh, English is a language. It's a skill. You can develop that skill. It's not inborn. So I don't know why people miss this major point that you can definitely learn English. You can master it whenever you want. Age is no bar. The place you live is no bar. You can get your English right whenever you want it, provided you don't give up. So I don't think there should be any doubt in any person's mind who's attempting to learn the language. And it's a very useful skill. So go ahead and do it without being ashamed, without being cautious. Go ahead and do it. And I think confidence plays a very important role if you're learning anything. If you're learning computer programming and you're very convinced that you will fail, you are definitely going to fail. But if you give yourself chance, if you convince yourself that there are a million people who are learning this skill with me, there is a high chance that you will probably join the team. So I think English is no different. It's a skill. Everyone should try and master it because I think it opens, as I said, I don't have any problem repeating this. It opens doors to numerous opportunities, not just in your country, but around the world.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's been fun talking to you. Do you have any words of wisdom you want to part with for
words of wisdom? Well, I don't know if I have words of wisdom, but I'm very grateful to you for the time that you have spent. I loved having this conversation with you, and I generally think the words of wisdom would be that please learn things that help you grow in every which way. Be it in your career, be it in life, be it as a human being. Try things that help you grow. English language is one of the many things that can help you accomplish things that you want out of your life. So give it a try wholeheartedly. Don't sit back and sulk that you did not have a great education or whatever. Go ahead, make space for it, learn and ace it. So that's my message to every single person who's trying to learn a new skill. May God be with you and may you do wonderfully well. Lots of love and best of wishes from India. It has been wonderful talking to you. Thank you.
And it's been wonderful talking to you. I hope to have more conversations with you about education. And with that, I want to remind our audience that this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. And can we wave goodbye?
Bye-bye.
Bye,
And
everyone.
namaste. A big namaste to everyone. Take care.
And